Okay, so I think we can start. So hi everyone. Thank you all for joining today. My name is Maria. I am gonna be your host. I am part of the ZigiWave marketing team, and today I'm gonna be the host of the meeting. Thanks for sparing some time to learn more about how you can align your ITSM monitoring and DevOps teams. We promise the webinar is going to be interesting. We have prepared 3 live demos, so it's gonna be really nice. If you have questions, if you have any technical issues, please don't hesitate to type them in the chat or in the Q&A session. If you have questions, this session is being recorded. Just letting you know about this, and I think we can start. So, okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can anyone confirm that he's seeing my screen?
Yes,
we can see it.
Okay. So I'm gonna quickly go through the agenda. So we're gonna go through a quick speaker's introduction. We're gonna go very quickly through the idea behind our integration product. And then, of course, we're gonna dive deep into the common use cases BMC users are facing. We'll also cover the topic of why shouldn't you go with an in-house integration or a homegrown integration. In general, we have seen these cases and we have some feedback to share. So this is also going to be very interesting. And after that, of course, we're going to proceed to seeing ZigiOps in action, and we're going to see 3 live demos. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our speakers. So today, the speakers will be Idan Harel. He's co-founder and CEO of ZigiWave.
Thank you, Maria.
He's a co-founder and CTO, also in charge of the all technical part and the product. Hi, Avi.
Hi, everyone.
And we have also Daniel Kalchev, who is our solutions architect. He will be the guy who will show you the magic behind ZigiOps and showcase 3 live demos. Hi, Dani.
Hello, hi everyone.
I would also like to introduce one of our special guests. So we have David Phil from BMC. I'm gonna give the word to him to introduce himself, tell a little bit about him and about the ZigiWave BMC partnership. So yeah, David, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Maria. Hi, this is David File. We're happy to have ZigiWave as a BMC partner. Integration is really important to all of us. I think that's why we're all here, and it makes things more automated, and we all want to make things more automated. We don't want to do busy work and move data back and forth manually. So really happy to have you guys as a partner, and look forward to seeing what you guys have built. And back to you, Maria.
Okay, thanks, David. We're really glad to be a BMC partner. So I'm gonna back to my screen. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna give the word to Idan, and who'll share more about the idea behind our product. So Idan, the floor is yours.
Thanks a lot, Maria. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. I'm Idan, CEO and co-founder of ZigiWave. As you know, the company behind the integration platform, ZigiOps. In today's world, it is beyond doubt that digital transformation is not just a buzzword. Most of the IT organizations moved 90% of their task force to work remotely, including companies like BMC, Google, VMware, Atlassian, Amazon, and more. How do we know that? Because those are our partners, our vendors, our technology partners, whom we do business and establish relationship daily. IT teams are looking for to be more agile and responsive than ever, and with that, to solve bottlenecks and manual work in their daily work. Different silos in the organization want and need actually to be updated faster in order to reduce mean time to resolution and move on to the next challenge. Our ZigiOps platform implements a best practice approach to value stream integrations between the different silos of the organization. It enriches different systems with valuable data and information. Our platform is super easy to deploy and configured and starts to bring value within minutes. I would say, maximum a day with organizations. ITSM, ITOM, and DevOps teams can now completely automate the entire login, updates, enrichments of incidents, events, topology, and other tasks in real time with ZigiOps powerful automation. Thank you guys for joining us today, and let's move on to cover and show you the actual demo of the product and the use cases we're going to cover. Back to you, Maria.
Okay, thanks, Idan. Thanks for covering the beginning of the webinar. It was really interesting. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive deep into the use cases. And with that being said, I'm gonna pass the word to our CTO, Avi.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar. I'm Avi, the CTO of ZigiWave. So as this webinar is focused mainly on the BMC integration use cases, so this is what I'm going to talk about. It's about the most popular use cases that we have among our customers. So just being said before starting about the use cases, for anyone that knows ZigiOps, we can integrate with any type of data. From BMC Remedy, BMC Helix, Remedy Force, and BMC TrueSight to any other system that we have integration with. So let's start with popular use cases. So the first use case that we see like among our customers is between ITOM to BMC Remedy, usually what we call like event to incident use case. It means that once you have like an event management tool that you manage your NOC, like Micro Focus OBM, Dynatrace, and other such tools. When an event triggers on the NOC, you would like to create an incident so you can continue handling the incident itself on the backend. The integration is bidirectional. It means once any change that you have on the incident itself, on BMC Remedy, it will be also reflected on the NOC, and the vice versa. The other type of integration that we have between ITOM to BMC Remedy is the configuration items. So in addition to just having the incident created, we also put the context. Okay, we've also added the CI, if it is a host application, any other type of CI to the incident itself. So the entire processing of the incident will be on a specific context. The next use case that we have is between BMC Remedy to DevOps. Usually it is Jira and Azure DevOps. Here is the main use case is what we call incident resolution. It means that once you have an incident and would like to make the change in the product itself and push it back to the development team, then the incident, once the incident is created or any other type of trigger, we created an issue or story or bug in Jira or Azure DevOps. Any change that we have on this issue on Jira or Azure DevOps is also reflected on BMC Remedy. So the different teams in the organization are synced on the incident itself. The next use case that we have is between BMC Remedy to an ITSM tool. It's either between BMC Remedy to Jira Service Management or to ServiceNow, but we have also like customer that has the integration between one BMC Remedy instance to another BMC Remedy instance. It means that when you have like two different departments working on different tools or different instances of an ITSM tool, we make sure the ZigiOps makes sure that the incidents are synchronized between the different instances. So any change that you have an instance on the incident in one instance or in one system, they are synced to the other system, so the teams can work in a good cooperation between each other, and everyone is updated on the minute. The next one is between BMC TrueSight to an ITOM. Usually the use cases that we talk here is about the single pane of glass. It means that you have one system that manages all the events in the NOC. And you push data from different monitoring systems. In that case, we have between BMC TrueSight to Micro Focus OBM, or we see also for ServiceNow. We push events that comes from BMC tool site, also topology, into the event manager system. So you have only one place that the NOC needs to handle all the events, and of course the context of the events, which is also the topology. So these are like the 4 main use cases that we see among our customers. If anyone on the cloud that have another use case that I think is interesting and he wants us to talk about it, please post in the chat.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Avi, for covering the use cases. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to post them in the chat or in the Q&A session. So the next topic we'll be covering why not go with homegrown integration, and Avi is gonna cover this part as well. So Avi, back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So what we see, that's like most organization get to the conclusion that's using an integration platform like ZigiOps is the best solution for to automate their processes in the organization. But we see that also there are some organizations that still goes and try to implement the integration by themselves. They just gather some kind of a budget, take developers. The developers needs to learn the APIs of the different tools, and then they just implement that. The main reasons why as we see it, it's good to go with the integration platform instead of having a homegrown integration solution is by the following items. The first one is the cost. What we can see, that's when you go with integration platform, the cost is clear. You know exactly how much you're going to pay, and this is going to be the final cost. While if you go on a homegrown integration solution, usually you know how much budget you need for starting the implementation, but you don't know with how much budget are you going to finish. The next thing is that from the time perspective. Usually, when you have like a solution like ZigiOps, you take the integration platform into a trial. You check whatever you see. When you see that the solution is good enough for you, then you just can go right away to production. From trial to production in 1 day. You don't need to wait. While if you go to a homegrown integration solution, you don't know what will be the final result of the implementation, and you don't know if it's exactly what you want to have. So whatever you see in the integration partner, whatever you see in the trial, this is exactly what you're going to get on the production itself. The maturity of the product, solution like ZigiOps and also other solution like integration platforms, they have like experience with hundreds of different environments that are run in production, different integration with different scales, different customization, and it's sustainable over time. When I mean sustainable, it means just not just the integration itself works well over time, but also the integration platform take into account the limitation of the different third party. If it's the limitation that you have on products like SolarWind, Dynatrace, ServiceNow, of course BMC as well, and then so on. Another item that's part of taking into consideration is the expertise. The way that we build the integration, we have the ZigiOps team have a special team of integration engineers. That's their expertise is integration. They know how to create a new integration. What is the best way? They have good best practices, how to create a new integration. They know the specific vendors. Usually what we have, they have a good connection with the different vendors themselves. They know the bugs that you have on different vendors. They know what the different behavior of each product. They work like with customer for a very long time, and they know what is the best way to create an integration and how to create it well. The next reason is the maintenance. Usually when you start implementing an integration, you work on a specific product, or you work on a specific version of the product. Over time, probably you would like to upgrade to a new version. And sometimes the API is not backward compatible. Sometimes the behavior of the product is different. So if you have a homegrown integration solution, then it means that you need to take the integration team, like the developer that's created the original solution, and ask them to change the integration to adjust to the new changes. While when you work with integration platform like ZigiOps, our team is in constant contact with the different vendors. So whenever there is like a new version, we make sure that our solution is also compatible with the new versions. So if you would like to upgrade to a new version, you just talk with our support, you get the new changes, and it is applied immediately without any risk. And the last one is the security. In ZigiOps, we care a lot about the security of our product. So we not harm any of the data centers of our customers. So we do, on a regular basis, we do lots of security tests. Also, many of our partners and customers do testing, security test on our product. It always passes well. And I think that's all. Maria, back to you.
Thanks, Ari. Great overview of that topic. So I think that we have passed 20 minutes. So let's move to Danny here. And it's time to see ZigiOps in action with 3 live demos. So we're going to cover the 3 use cases for monitoring connection with BMC, DevOps with BMC, and of course, ServiceNow is another ITSM tool synchronized to BMC. So Danny, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to give the word to you.
Thank you, Maria. So I'll share my screen right now. And like Maria said, these are going to be the 3 use cases that we're going to see today, where we can demonstrate that we can have multiple sources of data, which can transfer into a single point, which would be the BMC Remedy system. And we'll also see the synchronization of data in both directions after the initial synchronization is completed. First, some basics on the ZigiOps user interface. What we can see, we have a main dashboard page, which is represents a high-level information about everything that's configured in ZigiOps, all the integrations, all the actions inside, some basic information of what has been performed and how much time it took. The connected systems menu is showing all the systems that are currently supported by the ZigiOps platform and all the systems that are currently connected inside. Each system has its own attributes that needs to be added. And once the systems are ready, we can move to the configurator page, where we have a list of predefined configurations where we can add, and they come with the product. Each configuration has predefined actions, configurations, and field mappings that can be used out of the box and enabled in a couple of minutes. For each integration, we have a main configuration where we define the systems that we're connecting, the type of data that we're going to synchronize, and we can also configure our actions that can be set up to create a new entity or to update an existing entity. We can set how often we want ZigiOps to look for data of interest. We can set our query conditions for what type of data we're going to be interested in collecting, and we can define our field mappings to configure how the data that we collected is going to be reported to the destination system, where this field mapping can be a simple one where we just take a value and set it to a chosen field, or we can apply conditional mapping where we can make transformations, or we can apply rules for reporting data under certain conditions only. The main strength of ZigiOps is that all of these configurations are done through the user interface. You don't need to write any code at any point. You don't need to work with configuration files. Everything that you see is in the user interface, and regardless of which systems you're going to integrate, the process is the same. The overall structure is the same. The only thing that changes are the systems, their data types, and their actual fields that we're going to use, since every system has its unique capabilities and fields. Based on this, once you create a single integration, then you have the ability to make any other integration that you might need in your organization. Okay, so now that just to finish with something else to mention here is that we can also switch. We can decide the systems to be connected into the opposite direction, where we can report to BMC Remedy, or we can extract data from BMC Remedy and report it somewhere else, depending on our conditions. Now to showcase one of the first use cases, which is the data transfer between Dynatrace and BMC Remedy for problems to incident. This would be the next part. And these are the two systems. What we can see on the left side is the problem view in Dynatrace. And on the right side, we have our incident view or incident list in Remedy. What we can see now before we start is that we don't have any new incidents in Remedy. And we started by creating a new problem in Dynatrace, which was detected by Dynatrace, and the ZigiOps integration is configured to pick it up, create an incident in BMC Remedy with all the relevant information from the problem, and then it will continue monitoring for any changes. So in our case, what we can do is we can close this problem. We can do it, in this case, manually or by a user, or we can wait for the problem to be automatically resolved, or the resolution detected automatically by Dynatrace. And what will happen is that after the problem disappears from the Dynatrace system, ZigiOps will pick this update and it will send it to BMC Remedy, and it will resolve the related incident there. The next data flow that we want to showcase is the Jira tasks, or general the issues into BMC Remedy. It will be similar to that when we create a new task in Jira. This task is going to be detected by ZigiOps based on our conditions. It will be there will be an incident created in Remedy for it, and what we can see is that inside Remedy, for the incident information on the vendor ticket number field, we have our Jira number of the task, and then if we go back to Jira and refresh, we can see our Remedy incident that was created, which is related to it. And after this is completed, we can start making changes in both systems. First, we can start from Jira. We can change the state from new to in progress. We can add a comment, and these changes are going to start synchronizing. We can see that the status in Remedy has been updated, and also there is a new work log added. And the same is true if we make changes from Remedy, and if we want to return them back to Jira. We can add a comment or a work log in Remedy. We can add attachment as well. And these changes are going to be synchronized with our related entity in Jira. And while we are waiting for the synchronization to complete, something to mention is that this is just an example of the use case, which covers relatively small number of fields, but in general, we can work with any fields that you can see in the user interface of your software. So any fields in the Jira system, including custom fields, are supported. Any fields in the Remedy incident entry, including custom fields added to the incident table, are also supported. And to finalize this workflow, we can resolve the related task in Jira. And we can see that after a couple of seconds, this update is going to be transferred to the Remedy system. And the related incident in Remedy is also going to be resolved. And the final workflow for today's demonstration is going to be of the similar nature, but with the ServiceNow system, where we can transfer an incident which is created or detected in another way in ServiceNow and create it into BMC Remedy and keep the two incidents or two records synchronized in both directions. So when the incident is first created, again, ZigiOps is configured to detect this. It will find this new record. It will create it into BMC Remedy. And what we can also notice is that after the incident is created in Remedy, the vendor ticket number this time shows points back to ServiceNow ticket compared to before where it pointed to Jira. And after a couple of seconds, the incident from Remedy is going to be returned back to ServiceNow so that we can know that we have these relationships between the two records. And after this, we can start making changes again. So similar to the before use case, we can make changes to lifecycle fields, to regular fields, so we can add comments, synchronize between them. And this includes attachments as well, which we can see a little bit later. And these changes are automatically going to be synchronized with the related incident in Remedy. Now, to do the same thing from the Remedy side, we can add a new workload there. We can add a workload with attachment. And after these changes are saved, ZigiOps will pick them up and synchronize them with the related record. This can also include multiple updates, of course. So if you have more than one, if you have many incidents updated all the time in both directions at the same time, this would be synchronized in the same way as you see here. It's just easier to follow a single pair for the demonstration purpose. So now for the final part, we added a new attachment in ServiceNow, which is just synchronized with Remedy. And what we can do now is we can resolve our incident in ServiceNow. And this would also resolve the related incident in BMC Remedy. And like I mentioned before, with the Jira integration, all the fields that are included into the incident form or any other form in ServiceNow are supported, including custom fields. Custom tables are also supported. And once the synchronization completes, this will be the final part of the actual demonstration that I wanted to show you. And now we can move to the Q&A session for any comments or questions that you might have.
Thanks, Dani. Okay, so yeah, it is time for Q&A. Actually, we have two questions. So this is, by the way, just a small comparison between ZigiOps and the other integration products on the market. With a small research, we'll send you the presentation and the recording of the webinar, so you can see it more in depth. But yeah, so one of the questions is basically how customizable is ZigiOps. I think Dani again can cover this, or anyone else who wants to do it.
Yeah, so I'll take that one. So let me share my screen a little more. So like I mentioned, ZigiOps is coming with predefined templates that can be used out of the box. They are based on real use cases that we have encountered in the past with real customers, and they are used in production. They come with predefined actions like we saw, and they can be enabled for just a couple of minutes. We also have the option to create our custom integration where we can start from a blank template and configure everything on our own to fit our use case exactly. Or of course, every template that comes with the product can be customized fully as well. The first part of the customizations which are available is we can switch to different instances if we have more than one. This is an example of a Jira integration with Remedy. If we have more than one Remedy instance, we can switch between those. For each instance, we can define different types of data that we can synchronize. In this case, I'm using a particular project, but I have access to every other project available for the Jira system, and it can be configured. For BMC Remedy, I'm using the incident entity, but any other actual table from the BMC Remedy database is available, including the other ITSM entities like change request or problem. We can modify our correlation logic, which defines how ZigiOps is going to keep the record synchronized. It's not locked to this particular configuration. You have access to all the fields for the entity that you have selected. So you can create a custom field for this purpose. And the most amount of customization possible is on the operation level or the actions, where you can define how often you want the action to be executing. You can define custom conditions for data filters, where you have access again to all the different fields from the system that you are making a query against. So all of this is fully customizable and flexible. You can add as many configurations as you need. And for the field mappings, we have the, like I mentioned, we have the option of a simple mapping where we just take a value from the source system and we report it to the destination. We can add more than one value into more than one object or into a single value to build more, basically to add more information into it. We can apply conditions, and these conditions are again fully customizable. You have access to all of the data that's available for the product that you're taking data from. And based on this data, you have full control of using it to set conditions exactly what you want to report to the destination and when. Okay, so this was regarding the customizations.
Okay, we have another question, which is, in case the tool that I use is not part of ZigiOps portfolio, can I make a request to be added, and how long would it take roughly? Avi or Idan, you want to cover this?
Yes, I will take this question. So of course, any product that's one of our customers or would like to have added to the product itself, it can be added. Of course, it depends on the product itself, but usually it takes around like 2-3 weeks to supply this solution. Some integrations are more complicated than others, so in some cases it may take a little bit more.
Okay, thanks, Avi. And the last question would be, how many queries can pass through ZigiOps, let's say, per day?
Okay, so I'll take that one as well. In general, we are not limited. ZigiOps itself is not limited to how many queries it can make per day or per hour. The user can define that from the user interface. And the other thing is that each program or software that we are integrating between has certain limitations of how many queries or requests we can make per hour or per minute, and we can handle their limitations. So as much as the systems support, ZigiOps can handle as well.
Thanks, Dani. Okay, for now, I think we don't have any more questions. We promised not to prolong this webinar for a lot of time. So having said that, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. Also, special thanks, of course, go to David Phil, who is our part of the BMC team. We will send out the recording of the webinar along with the presentation we showed today. So everything is going to be sent out to all the participants and all registrants. And yeah, thanks to all the speakers. Thanks, Dani. Thanks, Avi. Thanks, Idan. I hope, and to everyone, I hope you enjoyed our webinar. We are going to have more, and we will keep you posted. So having said that, I'm gonna end the webinar. And if you have any questions, of course, further after that, you can always ping me or email us at info@zigiwave.com. So have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, Maria.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
For more information, please request a demo from our website. Thank you for watching.